Hey everybody. So things just keep going from bad to worse for the Winnipeg Jets. They already don't have Patrick Laine signed. They don't have Kyle Connor signed, who are two of their top goal scorers in their forward group, both restricted free agents. Neither of them are signed. They're in a very tight salary cap situation. They lost two of their top four defensemen and three of their top six defensemen to this offseason. Jacob Trouba's gone to New York. Tyler Myers has gone to Vancouver. Ben Chiarot has gone to Montreal. And now Dustin Byfuglien may not play this season. He may be considering retirement for Winnipeg. And that would be an absolute death blow to the Winnipeg Jets if Byfuglien doesn't play. So training camp, the preseason, it's all started. Byfuglien asked for a personal leave of absence from the team. He was granted that. And now all the talk about Byfuglien that's going around is reportedly he is deciding whether or not he even wants to play hockey anymore. This has kind of been shocking news. It kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, Byfuglien is their clear number one defenseman and has been a major part of this team going, for years now, since he went to Winnipeg. He went there and became, a huge part of that team's defense core, and he's been their number one D-man for a long time. He's a very good player. He's still a very good player, but there's been talk that the love of the game just isn't there anymore, and he's 34 years old. He's played in the league for quite a number of seasons now, and he might just retire, and that would be a huge blow to Winnipeg's defense, who has already lost so much. Losing Myers and Trouba out of your top four is a huge loss. That leaves Morrissey and Byfuglien as your top two defensemen easily, and you don't have a whole lot after that. You lost a really good depth guy in Ben Chiarot. You didn't add a whole lot back. This is a team whose defense has already taken a huge hit, and now might take an even bigger one. So it's kind of shocking news that Byfuglien might just be done out of nowhere after going to the conference final 2 years ago, making the playoffs last year again, and being one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and such an important player on the team, just out of nowhere. Love of the game might be gone, just doesn't want to play on a personal leave of absence, and is mulling retirement. It's shocking, and it's out of nowhere, and if he does not play this season, it's going to put Winnipeg in a very difficult situation with their defense, which is already in absolute shambles after this offseason. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. And Byfuglien, honestly, is one of my favorite players to watch in the league. The dude's an absolute monster. He's so fun to watch physically. He physically dominates most opponents. He's not afraid to throw huge hits. He can drop the gloves when needed. He's been a 100 penalty minute guy multiple times in his career, while also being a tremendous point producer from the back end. Generally, those big physical defensemen aren't offensive defensemen, but Byfuglien has continued to have great offensive output from the back end. He scores a lot of goals, even more assists. He can easily be a 50 to 60 point guy from the back end, and while being that physical force, and he's a really good skater for his size. He's a great player. Dustin Byfuglien is a great hockey player, but he's just deciding right now if he wants to continue to play hockey at the NHL level or if he wants to retire. And you never know what a player is going through off the ice. You never know what a player is going through mentally. You never know what he's going through injury-wise or physically, if he just physically can't do it anymore. There's a lot that us as fans, but outside people, away from the team, away from the player, who don't have a personal connection or know what's actually going on. There's a lot that we don't know, and he may just not want to play hockey anymore. And that happens. Sometimes you do something for so long, and you put so much time and effort into it that at some point you just go, there are other things that I want to do. I don't love this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's what could be happening. And I think that's what he's thinking about right now is, do I want to go through the grind of another 82-game NHL season? That's really difficult. That's a really difficult thing to do. And at 34 years old, he's done that many, many times already. So, it's a big decision. It's a huge decision for the team. It's a big decision for the individual and the player himself. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with this. He's either going to eventually decide, I'm going to play, and he'll show up to training camp, or he's going to say, I don't want to play anymore, and he's probably going to retire. So, big decision coming from Dustin Byfuglien, a huge decision for the Jets as well, as I think it's going to be difficult for them to make the playoffs this year anyway. If they lose Dustin Byfuglien, the Winnipeg Jets will not make the playoffs this year. I can guarantee you that right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with the Dustin Byfuglien situation, but it's very surprising to me. It kind of came out of nowhere, but those things happen. And he's going to have to decide if he wants to play or not this season. But with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.